everyone, my name's Kerry and we're here at Build-A-Mind to learn about stop motion animation. And stop motion is what we call a filming technique, and it's all about making something that's inanimate, like a Lego man, can't move on his own without somebody else interacting with him. And we're going to make him look like he's moving and the things around him look like they're moving by using this technique. So we're going to take lots of photos. When you're doing stop motion, it's something that takes a lot of time and focus. So you want to be in an area where you're not going to be easily distracted by things going on around you, that you've got some quiet, that you can focus, you're wearing comfortable clothes, and you've got room to move around nice and easily. The first thing that you're going to do is start to outline your story. So you're going to use a storyboard to do that. You're going to draw some pictures, really simple stick figure kind of animations of what you're trying to achieve. Once we've done our storyboard, we want to start preparing our set. So we need to gather all the things that we need. The first thing we need is a base plate or something for your scene to occur on. It needs to be pretty small, and everything that we do is going to happen on this one area. You might have a few surrounding bits behind it. What I like to do is put my scene inside of a box so that I block out the rest of the room, and all I see is what I've actually got in that particular area. We're going to start by gathering all our props together, and you may already have built them like I have done. Once I've got all my props, I'm going to start to put them in place. And I don't want to put things too close together so that I can put the focus on the main characters. If you find that you don't want to use a base plate and you want to use a smooth surface, you can actually use blue tack to hold your characters down. That's it, that's my main scene. Once my scene's set up, I've got to start to get my equipment prepared. And you can use multiple cameras or you might just use one. You can use something fancy like a DSLR. Just your basic average mobile phone will do the job. Some people prefer action cameras, so it really doesn't matter what you use. The idea is just that whatever you use, you keep it still. Once we have our camera ready, we're going to look at lighting. It's best if you are in a room that has lots of natural light. If that isn't an option for you, you may want to have multiple lights to try and avoid shadows. Lights are also used to create an atmosphere. So if there's a dark or a scary moment, you want the lights to be off and you want things to be dark. But if it's a happy, light kind of mood, you want things really bright. You don't need fancy lighting. You can just buy IKEA lights, as I have, or you can go to Bunnings and get some of these great big lights. Or you can go out and get a softbox, which gives you a really nice, even lighting across your set. So I'm going to use an iPad to take my photos with, and the great thing about the iPad is that I can do all of my filming in one place, and I don't necessarily have to move it over to a computer to do my editing. And so I'm going to put my iPad in place, and I'm going to line it up so that I'm only getting the parts that I want to see in my shot. Take a little bit of time to get this part right because you don't want to have the background showing. Once I've got my iPad in place, I'm going to draw little lines where it's seated, just so that if I need to change the angle of the camera, I know where to bring my iPad back to afterwards. Now we're going to start to take our shots. We're going to make sure that our characters are where we want them to be, and we're going to start to do the movement effects. Your background is probably going to stay pretty static, and you only want to move the parts that have the main focus. For me, that's my villagers. I'm going to move my figures around. There's a technique that's called ease in and ease out. This gives us the most kind of realistic motion that we can get. We want to do slow movements as the movement starts, bigger movements, and then slow movements again as the movement's coming to an end. Okay, so we're going to start off with some basic movements, but if you think about how you move, and even watching somebody talking, their hands might move, their head might tilt, that's the kind of thing that we want to get happening here. So as I've got my first scene set up, I'm going to take a shot. I like to hold my iPad in place because it's really easy to get movement, and just take a shot. Now I'm going to move my characters ever so slightly, and you're looking for really, really small movements. So I'm going to move her arm back a little bit, I'm tilting her head. This character might just move back a bit, and this one's head might tilt. So they're really small motions that you're making. And I hold my iPad, let it focus, and take another shot. I'm going to move 2 or 3 really tiny movements and then some bigger ones as part of my ease in, ease out. So she's going to turn her head back a little bit. Her hand starts to come down. This one's hand starts to come down and she's turning a little bit more. And I take another shot. You can see the kind of time that's involved in the movements we have to make. To get a simple scene, you're looking at probably 30 to 40 photos. She's going to move a little bit more. These are still me easing in, so they're still very small movements. And I take another shot. I might have them coming in a little bit closer as the conversation is getting more involved. Now I'm going to start easing out again, so back to our really small, tiny little movements that are barely noticeable. Once I've taken my scene, I'm going to go back and review it so that I can do some minor editing in the middle of it. So I go back to the beginning of my film and I just play the scenes out to see what it looks like. So that's stop motion animation in a nutshell. If you want to learn more about special effects, great techniques that you can use to get more realistic motion, we've got sound effects, we've got smoke plumes. Come and join us at Build-A-Mind in our after-school classes, holiday workshops, or private lessons.
Hi girls. Hi Betty, have you heard about the thing in the bushes? What thing? They were talking about a monster in the bushes. What was that?
I don't know, run!
What do you mean? There's nothing in the bushes.
It's there!
Let me go see. Oh, it's a puppy.